It's important because if you get in your home and you want to have the assets to protect that and keep it
You
safe.
need to be empowered around how money works first. You need to have a financial education. And so that's where we start with the first area of money. The first money milestone is getting a financial education. The second is really talking about protecting what you are building. So, in other words, when you get into a home, you have the mortgage, a very large amount of debt. And what will happen, are you prepared for a situation like a job loss? What happens if you get laid off? You and I have lived through several instances where there have been, things that have derailed, financial plans, right? Because we've seen market volatility, right? We've seen recessions. We've seen big dips in the real estate market. We've seen massive layoffs in our lifetime. But a lot of folks in the 18 to 35-year-old range haven't. They haven't experienced that firsthand. Maybe they saw their parents go through it in 2008. So maybe they're feeling a little bit of, they remember, what that was like, that the stress that their parents were under.
And I was going to say, I think now in the current market conditions, there are a lot of uncertainties. And I think by bringing education and talking about how money works and how to set yourself up so that if you were to incur a job loss or something like that, that you're not going to lose everything.
Exactly, because it can be more than that too. It can be, what if you have an illness, that goes on for months at a time, and are you prepared to weather that storm? So there's a lot of things that could happen. You could have a natural disaster prevent you from, just causing a lot of repairs or maintenance to your home. You could need a new roof. We all know what that's like, to have a sudden large expense attached to your home. Or even if you have a business, you're a business owner, anything could happen to kind of derail the revenue that you're accustomed to bringing in to be able to cover those expenses, like your mortgage payment.